The poem Rebel is written by DJ and Wright. The rebel. So what do you understand by the word rebel? The rebel is a lightly expressed poem written in a casual style free of any bitterness or criticism. The poet shows the character of rebel, one who does not conform to the norms of society and has a contradictory attitude based on self-assertion. Okay. Now coming to its introduction. This is not typically a political rebel who wants a revolution in the country, but this is a common teenager boy who, for his inexperience, exhibits himself so as to draw attention. Okay. So starting with the first stanza of the poem. Even everybody has short hair. The rebel lets his hair grow long. When everybody has long hair, the rebel cuts his hair short. In the sense, you might have experienced that. You may have one question. Do you know anyone who always disagrees with you or your friends or likes to do the opposite of what everyone thinks they should do? Okay. In the picture you can see here there are green apples which are inverted one, and here in the middle it's a red apple which is different from others. So this is what the rebel does everywhere. Okay. So what does the poet explains describes in the first stanza is, when the rebel encounters a group of people with short hair, he would allow his hair to grow long because he derives pleasure and satisfaction by doing against the grain. However, he is not constant, and therefore when he sees people growing their hair long, he would end up cutting his short. Okay, fine. So now coming to second stanza. Even everybody talks during the lesson. The rebel doesn't say a word. When nobody talks during the lesson, the rebel creates a disturbance. Okay. What does the poet say here? In the given lines, the poet re-emphasizes the rebellious nature of the rebel as how he rebels against others. Okay. Means seeing everybody talking during the lesson, the rebel suddenly finds his silence most valuable. Okay. When everybody starts talking, the rebel keeps quiet, and however, because he is a rebel, he cannot help but create disturbances and make a series of interjections. When he sees that everybody else has become quiet, the rebel constantly seeks attention by doing that what others don't do. Okay. Now coming to third stanza. When everybody wears a uniform, the rebel dresses in fantastic clothes. When everybody wears fantastic clothes, the rebel dresses soberly. In the sense, the poet in these lines shows the rebel's need to exhibit himself as different from others, because the rebel always wants to showcase and exhibit himself as different. He would wear colorful clothes when everybody else is dressed up in a common uniform. And however, the moment he sees others dressed up in different and colorful clothes, he would be unable to control his urge to wear the uniform. Okay. Now coming to fourth stanza. In the company of dog lovers, the rebel expresses a preference for cats. In the company of cat lovers, the rebel puts in a good word for dogs. Means the poet discusses how the rebel's preferences never match with the others in the group. When the rebel finds himself in the company of dog lovers, he begins to prefer the cats. On the other hand, on being surrounded by cat lovers, he will put in a favorable word for dogs. His preferences and choices never seem to match with anyone else in the group. Okay. Coming to fifth stanza. When everybody is praising the sun, the rebel remarks on the need for rain. When everybody is greeting the rain, the rebel regrets the absence of sun. Means the poet goes on to offer examples of different instances in which the rebel fares in similar way. He says that even with respect to the weather, it is difficult to bring the rebel on board for he would appreciate the sun while others would be welcoming the rains and miss the rains while others would be enjoying the sun. Okay, means the rebel would enjoy summer when there would be raining. Okay, and vice versa. Coming to sixth stanza. When everybody goes to the meeting, the rebel stays at home and reads a book. When everybody stays at home and reads a book, the rebel goes to the meeting. Means the poet in these lines further highlights that the rebels are usually alone. The poet explains that the rebels are people who are usually all alone, for they prefer to read on a different path than others. So, when others go for meeting, they stay at home and read a book. When the others stay at home, they go for the meeting. Okay. Now, moving to next stanza. When everybody says yes please, the rebel says no, thank you. Means the poet is merely highlighting how it is impossible to make the rebel agree with anyone at all. He says that the rebel says yes when everybody has said no, and he says yes when everybody has said yes, means doing vice versa. If yes, he says no. If no, he says yes. Okay. Next, moving to 8th stanza. When everybody says no, thank you, the rebel says yes, please. It is very good that we have rebels. You may not find it very good to be one. Okay. Means the poet in these lines discusses how it is to be a rebel. It seems that having rebels around us is beneficial as they train us to acknowledge differences. However, it is not good to be a rebel because they are not accepted by the society. Okay, hope you have understood all the stanzas of this poem. Now lastly, we will have a summary of this poem. The rebel describes the character of a rebel, a person who does not conform to the norms of the society. The rebel is described as a person who would contradict others in order to be different. Okay. The character of the rebel in the poem is not based on the political activists, but seems to be a character sketch of a young adolescent trying to be very different. So, all the instances in this poem are repetitive affirmations of the fact. Okay. So, he explains, if a rebel sees a group of people with short hair, he would let his hair grow long. On seeing others with long hair, the rebel would cut short his hair. Seeing everybody talk during the lesson, the rebel would become absolutely mute. On realizing that everybody is silent, the rebel would create a disturbance. Similarly, on various such issues, the rebel would be seen contradicting others and doing things that no one would be doing. He would refuse to wear the uniform when the others would be wearing it, praise the dogs when in the company of cat lovers, appreciate the sun on rainy days and rains on the sunny days. He would do just anything but not what others are doing. Okay. So this is what the explanation of the summary of the poem The Rebel. Thank you. Have a good day.